Lecture topic: Solitude of the Heart.
The well-known Hadith Sharif, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentions the 7 categories of people that will be blessed with the shade of the Arsh of Allah Ta'ala on the day of Qiyamah. So one of the categories is وَرَجُلٌ ذَكَرَ اللَّهَ خَالِيًا فَفَاضَتْ عَيْنَاهُ. The person who remembers Allah Ta'ala in solitude, and this remembrance becomes so dominant on his heart, it affects him so much that it brings him to tears. His eyes flow with tears. Now this is the virtue of a person who remembered Allah Ta'ala in solitude. This is so beloved to Allah Ta'ala that on the day of Qiyamah this person will also be granted this great bounty of being in the shade of the Arsh of Allah Ta'ala. The reality of this great ni'mat will only be understood on that day. Now the lesson in this is the aspect of solitude. One is physical solitude, that a person is physically alone, he's not with anybody else, and he's remembering Allah Ta'ala. That is also part of solitude. But that physical solitude also is meant to bring about the solitude of the heart. That a person in his heart, he is engaged with Allah Ta'ala. Sometimes a person might be in the midst of a lot of people, but at that time his heart is completely clear and free from everything that is ghayrullah, everything that is a distraction from Allah Ta'ala. And his heart is completely focused towards Allah Ta'ala, and he is remembering Allah Ta'ala in that solitude of the heart. So though he is in the middle of people, but he is oblivious of who's around. He is not concerned about what's going on around him, who's coming and who's going. He is completely, his heart is focused. Now this is what is the effort to be made. That our minds, we keep engaging it in thinking. One is thinking something that is of need, something necessary, even if it is something sometimes of dunya, but there is a need to be now applying the mind to it to understand what's to be done, what task to be completed, etc. So that's part of insan. But there's a great amount of unnecessary thinking. And people occupy their minds to such an extent in this unnecessary thinking that sometimes their whole lives get dictated by what their minds are now occupied with, which is not even necessary. Sometimes some fears, unnecessary fears, unfounded, baseless. Now because the person just keeps thinking and thinking unnecessarily about certain things, starts becoming so afraid about anything and everything. Sometimes it's just futile dreams, just long 50-year dreams. Person is floating in that, and he's neglecting what's to be done now because he's in this dream world. One is to have aspirations of goodness that is in his place, and our person is lost in a dream world. Now this dream world is not going to help him. What's going to help him is what's reality. Yes, there's parts of things in life that now a person sometimes aspires for. He should aspire for the good of dunya and akhirat. The good of dunya is to connect himself to Allah Ta'ala. Then he has certain concerns that will be there, part of every insan that is. But this non-stop, constantly engaging the mind in futile things, unnecessary things, and especially when a person is trying to be progressing in ilm, and now at the same time his mind is occupied unnecessarily in things that are of no benefit to him. And this is completely negatory of this solitude that is required of the heart. When the heart will become engaged in this remembrance of Allah Ta'ala, and the solitude will be developed in the heart, then this heart will absorb the ilm as well. Because the ilm is also a sifat of Allah Ta'ala. So all this unnecessary thinking, or thinking of some things that are not going to be of any benefit now. There's some things now, a person, for example, now when he finally finishes off his studies, what will he do? But is he able to do anything about that now? One is there something concrete that needs to be done now, well and good. But otherwise, he's sitting and engaging his mind, but what am I going to do? Now he's not sure what he's going to do. He's not sure whether he'll be able to do something or not. In that, his mind is now running in this direction, and it's now becoming a stress for him, it's becoming some pressure on his mind, and as a result of this, he can't concentrate on what's going on now, he can't fulfill the work that's required now, all because of this unnecessary thinking about something in the future which he has no control over now. If he can do something about it now, he must do it. But there's nothing that he can do about it now. What he can do is make dua, so he makes dua. Apart from that, keep the heart free. Keep the heart free for Allah Ta'ala's remembrance. And when the heart will be engaged in Allah Ta'ala's remembrance, Zunnun Misri Rahmatullah Alayhi, he says when the tongue and the heart will be devoted to Allah Ta'ala, then the heart will start yearning for Allah Ta'ala. The heart will start yearning for Allah Ta'ala. When that happens, then a person's whole life will be on track, because that will dictate everything. So this is what's to be worked for. And gradually, step by step, a person needs to start bringing that solitude of the heart. When that is achieved, then everything else will become very easy to achieve as well. Allah Ta'ala gives them.
अल्लाह अल्लाह कैसा प्यारा नाम है, आशिकों का मीना और जाम है।